Hi, I'm Caroline Mitchell, canine behaviourist at Good Doggy. So why do we need treats to change our dog's behaviour? Everybody has different opinions about the use of treats, how much we should use treats. Some people think that it serves as the paycheck from a good job, a bit like your wages do. You don't work for free, so why should your dog? Some people think that they're more of a bribe, and maybe in some ways both of those are true. But I think there's a third reason that you may not have considered. So here is why I think treats are an essential part of behaviour change, and why we need them to help your dog make better choices of their own. So if your dog's doing a behaviour that we don't want, then it's very likely that dog chose that behaviour for a really good reason. It will either be making them feel good, or it will be helping them avoid something bad. So by good, it could be a treat or attention or playtime, or maybe getting to the park faster, those kinds of things. And by bad, we mean, something that they don't want. It's avoiding pain or it's avoiding fear. So those are the reasons why dogs will change their behavior, either to get something good or to avoid that fear or pain. So the dog's behavior is already achieving one of those things. So in order for us to change it, what we have to do is we have to create a new behavior that also achieves the same thing. So let's talk about jumping up. So a dog will jump up at a person, usually because either they're trying to get attention or because they are trying to relieve frustration or they're trying to play. So let's talk about attention seeking jumping up, because that's probably the most common one. When the dog jumps up at you, it's because they want something good. They want your attention. They want you to look at them, talk to them, play with them, even shout at them. Because when dogs are in play mode, anything goes. Play is about experimenting with different roles in life. It's about pretending to be a hunter. It's about pretending to be hunted. It's about learning different skills, fighting skills. So, if your dog is in play mode and you're shouting at them, then actually that might to them be a part of the game. So jumping up is there to serve all of those things. If we want them to stop jumping up and choose something different, then we have to make the different thing achieve the same goal and make them feel good. So the first thing you would do is choose a different kind of behavior that might get you to play with them. So maybe you introduce the play with me toy. So whenever your dog wants attention, if they pick up the play with me toy, then they are guaranteed to get your attention. So already this toy will work better than the original behavior because it's guaranteed. Whereas the original behavior, it was a bit kind of grey area whether it would work or not, but it was always worth a try because it worked often enough. The play with me toy will work 100% of the time. So already the play with me toy stands out as a better option. But what if we add a treat to that as well? So not only do we have an option that's going to work better, but we've sweetened that deal up by making it even more tempting by adding something else that your dog really wants. So in this case, all the treat has done is just made a behavior alternative look much better. It's a much better choice. When we're faced with choices in our lives, we look for the one that makes us feel the best. So if you've got one that makes us feel twice as good, then we choose that behavior because that's the best one for us at that time. So here, really, it's not a paycheck. This is a way of us making the alternative behavior feel good and giving them another reason to choose that behavior. On the opposite side of the coin, we might have something like reactive behaviour. Reactive behaviour is usually about avoiding fear and avoiding pain. So the dog is introduced to a situation that has triggered them. It has made them react in a defensive way, lunging, barking, growling, and those kinds of things. So those behaviours are there to increase the distance between your dog and whatever it is that's triggered them. So their goal of that behavior is avoidance. So just like with jumping up, we need to find a way of achieving that exact same thing that is different from lunging and barking. So the goal of the behavior is avoidance. I'm trying to avoid a situation that makes me scared or makes me think that there could be pain. So we're going to help them avoid that situation by making a lot of space. And then we sweeten the deal up a little bit with a treat as well. So once we've made enough space and our dog has calmed down enough, then we can offer them a treat. And just like for jumping up, the alternative behavior is just as good, But because we added that treat, it just tips it over the edge. It just makes it more appealing than the original behavior. Of course, we're talking about treats here because treats are really easy to come by. They're easy to use as a reward. Most dogs like a treat, but that's not always the case. There are lots of different ways that you can sweeten the deal of a new behavior that is not food. You can be using a toy, you can use attention, even a little wink. Clickers are brilliant if you have a dog that doesn't like to take treats when they're out on a walk, for example. A clicker can work and bridge that gap as well. But the idea is you're going to use whatever it is that makes your dog feel good, because that's the whole point of it here. We want them to choose the new behavior that we have picked out that is preferable to the old one, and we want them to feel extra good about it. So let's not think about treats as paychecks. Let's not think about them as bribes. Let's just think about them as adding a whole new element to a behavior we would rather them choose to make it look even more enticing. When we look at it like that, it actually makes perfect sense why we would introduce treats into our dog's training. And in fact, let's not hold back. Let's just get the absolute best treats that we can, the ones that they are going to love the most, because the better the treat, the more enticing that new behavior is going to look to them. So that's my thoughts on why I always use treats in dog behavior change. And hopefully you can see that it would be really helpful for you as well. I'd love to know your comments though. Please leave them below, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care for now. Bye-bye.